Hi, I'm back. I'm Genevieve Nixon. I'm here with Tom McMahon, host of The Coin Prophet and Amazon best-selling author for The Seventh Disruption. So, what is the blockchain? Like, this sounds so foreign, the blockchain. What is it, and why is it important to us today?
Well, it's interesting if you envision, a block. It creates a block of data let's say every 10 minutes that interconnects with the previous block. And when it does that, it kind of becomes immutable, because if you change the first block of data, you got to change the one behind it. So that's why they call it the blockchain. It's a chain of blocks of data. Okay, so that's why I explain it that way. But I think what's important, what the blockchain will do for you, is it will allow us to really eliminate the intermediary of many different industries. It will allow us to protect our intellectual property. But it's a technology that it's kind of like the internet. I mean, the one thing we've seen is Bitcoin has done proof of concept with blockchain-based technology. We can transact business without using a bank. That's important. We've eliminated the bank, okay? But when you get into this technology and you understand where it's going, we have this opportunity to protect our data. We have the opportunity to transact more freely, more securely. And so the blockchain is kind of like the TCP/IP of the internet. Without it, the internet couldn't exist.
Right.
Blockchain-based technology, before 2010, we weren't able to do bankless transactions. We weren't able to. We have to use somebody that we trust to do our transactions. After 2010, we don't need that intermediary anymore. So the blockchain is a very important player in that.
Okay, so let's bring it back. Let's slow it down a little bit for some of you who are new to this. First, some of the key words Tom mentions was Bitcoin. Okay, I don't know if you know about Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is digital currency. We're going to touch on exactly what digital currency is in a little bit. And Bitcoin was started by the Winklevoss twins.
No.
Oh, it wasn't? Okay, correct me. We're being educated. We are being educated. Go ahead, tell me about it.
Bitcoin was created by a guy named Satoshi Nakamoto.
Satoshi Nakamoto,
but
exactly.
The Winklevoss twins have been in there since the beginning, since it came out.
Exactly.
And they did create an exchange where Bitcoin can be traded.
Okay.
And they're very educated in the matter. But Satoshi Nakamoto published a white paper that said he created a way to create peer-to-peer bankless transactions where people-to-people can transact without using a bank or a financial institution. The world laughed at him.
Right.
And then a year later, he published Bitcoin on the blockchain,
exactly.
And that's where it all came about, and the world's not laughing anymore.
Exactly. Okay, see, we're getting educated. So yes, and you might know the Winklevoss twins. They were at Harvard University with Zuckerberg, and they had an idea that was similar to Facebook, and now we know Facebook is Zuckerberg's. But they are obviously brilliant young men, brilliant twins that helped bring Bitcoin into fruition, which then changed our global society at this point with digital currency. And one other term that he mentioned is bankless banking. So now, have you ever heard of that, bankless banking? So Tom, tell us a little bit more, for the layman, what is bankless banking?
Well, right now, if I want to send money to you, I send you a check, and then the bank authorizes it. It has to go back to the bank. The bank authorizes I have the funds, and then ultimately you get paid. So there's a lot of moving parts in that. In bankless banking, I actually send you the transaction, and my balance is held on millions of computers around the world. And one of those computers, or two of those computers, or depending on how large the transaction is, could be multiple computers, verify or confirm that I have the money to actually send you. So it doesn't have to go back to the bank. There's just some computer on the network that says, oh, by the way, that account number has the money, the units to send a value.
Okay.
And then when I do it, all the computers move it from my plus side of my balance sheet to my negative side of my balance sheet.
Okay.
And it goes to your plus side of your balance sheet. So it's something that allows us to be able to transact business 24 hours a day without fees, without using banks. And I like to tell people, it's like, imagine having to go back to Blockbuster to rent all your videos.
Right.
That was just a hassle. Now that you've got Netflix and you've got Hulu and all these things, you don't need that anymore. But could you imagine having to go back to Blockbuster to rent videos? No, it'd be terrible. But bankless banking, after you've done bankless banking, it's like, good gosh, could you imagine having to go back to a bank to do a transaction?
Okay. So I'm following you. I hope all of you are following as well. Now, Tom, what's coming up, is this secure? Is this secure? It's so new. You're saying the bank is not there, FDIC is not a part of this, and I can't walk into an institution that I'm familiar with, a Chase, a Bank of America, a Wells Fargo. Now, how is this secure? Is my money secure in this?
Well, first, I think we're making a mistake by saying they're secure, because many banks, the NSA, the federal government, they've all been hacked. Okay, so, but yes, blockchain-based technology is the most secure financial. The one that Bitcoin runs on is the most financial secure network in the world. It's 100 times more powerful than all the Google servers combined.
Wow.
It's 450 times more powerful than all the supercomputers in the United States combined. And to be able to hack the blockchain, you would probably need the computing power of the United States and Russia and China combined, all working together at one time to hack it. That's how strong it is. So it's the most secure financial network in the world.
Wow, this is really changing lives and really going to change, our global community. So, and actually just elaborating more on this and the security of the blockchain. I know we had spoke about, there's been a lot of different celebrities and people that have gotten involved in this new cryptocurrency. So you're going to hear cryptocurrency, you're going to hear digital currency, you're going to hear blockchain, you're going to hear a whole bunch of new language and verbiage that you haven't heard. But don't be scared of it. Educate yourself on it, because it is a way for you to achieve your goals, have financial freedom, and change your life. And be a part of what Tom is educating us on is actually the wave of the future. You have a second chance at getting in on that internet, that internet bubble.
Yeah, a lot of people missed it.
Yeah, definitely. So, so speaking of security in the blockchain, I'm an artist. I'm an entrepreneur. I write scripts. I have original artwork. I have a mobile app that I have coming out. Several of my friends have clothing companies. They're actors. They're songwriters. We all have original content, intellectual property. So I recently heard Akon. He's one person who got involved. Ashton Kutcher, Nas, also got involved, and several different celebrities are getting involved to protect their intellectual property. So, Tom, tell me how this would make a difference for an artist or somebody with intellectual property. What's the big deal?
Well, I mean, right now, let's say that your intellectual property is a PDF document. I can send that PDF document to 50 people. I can make multiple copies of it, and the internet allows me to do that. So the internet has not been the friend of the musical artist.
No.
Okay, we saw what Napster did to the musical industry, and when you talk about the blockchain, if I were to assign a serial number to that song, I could actually limit that song to play on one person's computer or musical device or whatever. So, as we create digital music on the blockchain, it will disallow copies of that music. And so that's very important when you're a musical artist and you want to be paid for every song that's published. Right now, musical artists might be paid for 10% of their songs that were published, and 90% of them were shared. And so it will increase the artist's income. And you think about art and business cards and anything intellectual property will have a serial number on it, and it will be registered to the blockchain. And when people start using blockchain-based technology to share intellectual property, that those copies will be unique. They won't be PDFs. You will not be able to send that copy to multiple people because the software will prevent that.
So it's kind of encrypting your intellectual property, so that if someone buys it outright, let's just say like in iTunes, you download or you purchase the music or the album outright, you own it, but you can't necessarily share it to hundreds and thousands of people.
It's registered to you, and that's a great example. Is actually every copy that you give to somebody is unique.
Wow. So each copy gets its own serial number that is registered in the blockchain.
Yeah, and it's like the 65 Mustang. Every 65 Mustang, while the car looks the same, each one is very unique because it has a serial number attached to it called a VIN number.
Exactly.
And that's how the value, and they're not printing any more 65 Mustangs, are they?
Right, no, they're not.
So with blockchain-based technology, we're going to use a similar idea, but we're going to digitize everything. We're going to digitize the 65 Mustang with a VIN number, and I would imagine one day there will be digitized versions of cars and collectibles and things that will be on the blockchain that will trade on worldwide stock markets.
So really, for the independent, this is really strong, because
everybody
for
does.
everyone, yeah.
But independence for sure, because the technology is very affordable.
Exactly. So this is amazing. This is amazing content, and I hope you're all learning from this. I hope you're all kind of getting some nuggets from Tom right here. We have a multimillionaire who's actually teaching us how to expand our wealth portfolio, how to actually take our intellectual property and our savings and actually put it into this new currency, digital currency, and actually have a transfer of wealth. And Tom, I want to touch on some of the other ways that digital currency, personally for me, has a true longevity effect in this global community. I know we had a conversation earlier about M-Pesa, correct?
M-Pesa, yeah.
M-Pesa. Yeah. So M-Pesa, and what I learned is, and this is amazing, is that in some African countries, they're ahead of us in America as far as digital currency. Yep. The third world countries who are the most disenfranchised and the most impoverished are actually ahead of us in technology as far as digital currency. And this is what is really exciting to me. It's what really has me fired up about digital currency. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I think the ability, we have a large part of society that's unbanked.
Absolutely.
And when you're unbanked, you're keeping money in your house is getting robbed, there's violence, you lose your money, you don't have a secure way of transacting, you may not have the ability to sell your crops to maybe somebody in Sweden, like somebody who is banked that has the money transfer capabilities. So when you can take anybody, like in Africa, they have a $5 mobile phone, that anybody that has access to text marketing can actually send value back and forth amongst each other and send it anywhere in the world where they can send text messages.
Yeah.
And so what it does is it allows the average person who maybe had capital laying around, or they had risk. It actually reduces their risk. It gives them the ability to operate. And 40% of the Kenyan economy is run on digital currency now. And here's the interesting thing is that they say that over this technology will have mass adoption within the next 10 years. They say it will adopt faster than the internet because of the efficiency. And when you take somebody and you help them lift themselves out of poverty, you eliminate violence. You eliminate just the bad quality of life things that come along with being in a poor environment. And it's very exciting. That's the mission behind digital currency.
Absolutely.
Maybe not to help people like you and me, but it is helping us because we're able to create wealth from it by building portfolios and being people who bring the currency into existence. But we have the opportunity now to help the rest of the world. There's 2.1 billion people that need to be lifted up, and there's another 900 million people that have been disenfranchised by the banking industry.
Unbelievable. Take a moment to take that in. Take a moment to reflect on what he just said. We're talking about millions and billions of people who do not have the basic resource of going to a bank, cashing a check, getting out cash and whatever type of currency they have, and spending it on their needs and on the supplies and stuff that they need for their life. But what they do have is digital currency, which is changing lives. In third world countries, that's amazing. And so why digital currency? Why now? And really, really tell me how this is going to change my life if I get started today.
Okay, well, that's like asking in 1991, why internet, why now?
Right.
That's a tough question to answer. Why? Because it's going to transform the world. And that's what I would have told you about the internet in 91 when TCP/IP became available and made the internet possible. Blockchain-based technology makes things possible that, I could go into Walt Disney mode and share with you what it's going to do for your life, and your refrigerator ordering milk automatically, and all the cool things that are going to happen, and your car buying energy from the car next to it, and it's going to be bought with blockchain-based technology.
Wow.
We can really paint a vision, kind of like we did in the internet when we said, oh, you're going to be able to do telemedicine. Everybody's like, that'll never happen. You'll be able to buy dog food online. That'll never happen.
Right.
You'll be able to find a babysitter online. That'll never happen.
Right.
But Anyway, why digital currency? Why now? It's because people are recognizing that paper money and coin money is outdated. Credit cards are antiquated. The technology that powers credit card systems, where your financial data has to touch every party that touches that transaction, which exposes you to identity fraud, and digital currency doesn't have that. So why digital currency? Why now? Number one, you are your own bank, okay? Number two, it's a currency that can grow in value as opposed to having systematic depreciation, which makes you poor. You know, I've been working for 30 years and my currency has lost 40% of its value.
Wow.
Makes it harder to get to retirement when the tide's swimming, when you're swimming against the tide, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
so when you think of those things, that, you know, the portability, there's so many reasons that this smart money is involved in digital currency. We haven't mentioned their names, but people like Mark Andreessen, Peter Thiel from PayPal, Mark Zuckerberg just made an offer to buy M-Pesa.
Right.
Say he probably has an idea that this is going to be big.
Right.
And then you look at the comments Bill Gates has made about it, and Michael Novogratz, and just
Google. And
Eric Schmidt. All the smart money's in it. So why aren't you?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And this is an opportunity for the layman. This is an opportunity for the everyday person to get involved in the very beginning of something that's going to change society. I mean, this is Tom McMahon, who is best-selling author of The Seventh Disruption. I mean, we're talking about a disruption of your lifestyle, a disruption of this global economy, and a disruption of humanity as a whole, and really transforming this community. So you can be a part of something powerful, something informative, and something transformative, or you can wait and you can see it happen, and me and Tom will be here, 5-10 years later saying, hey, we were here and we told you so.
But I mean, that's the big thing. You can get in now and you can profit from it, or you can wait and pay for it. I mean, a lot of people who got in before 2000 the internet made tons of money, and we profited from the internet, and I guess our internet for the rest of life is free because we made a lot of money. Well, after 2000, if you got involved in it, you started paying for it, because they figured out the business models and they started charging everybody for using it. And that same thing's going to happen with digital currency. So the people who get in now and really learn this, and honestly, if you have the ability to buy something on Amazon, you're overqualified. You have mad skills.
So you're ready.
You're
mad
ready.
skills.
You're mad skills.
That's right. Mad skills. That's what we got. But no, this is such great information, Tom. I think you are really educating all of us, and you're really helping us to think about what we do with our money. It's not about going and buying brands and flashing and spending it, but it's actually about building wealth and financial freedom. And I know that that's the mission I'm on for my life and my family. And I thank Tom for actually having us here on his beautiful farm with the lake behind us, the sun setting. He has beautiful horses. And I mean, we can go on and on about the lifestyle that financial freedom creates. I mean, hey, we've been hanging out with Tom and his beautiful wife, Laura. And, you know, we're talking about going to islands and other countries, and you know, we do a Zoomcast, and on the Zoomcast we have people some of the countries that people are calling in from all over the world. And you know, we were at a meeting last night, and people that are, you know, in the baby booming community and even older, I mean, there's no security for them in their life right now, and they actually have invested in digital currency.
But they're faced with something serious. We used to talk in our industry where are you faced with the issue where the paycheck is running out before the month does? The baby boomers are now faced with the reality that their retirement fund is going to run out before retirement does. That's scary.
It's very scary. And I mean, we don't want that to happen to our families or anybody in the world. And so this is the time. The time is now. And I want to thank Tom again. I advise you to pick up his book, The Seventh Disruption, on Amazon. There's a lot coming from me, Genevieve Nixon. You know that. If you know me, you know there's always big things coming. And I just want to thank you again for educating us on digital currency.
My pleasure.
The blockchain. And we're going to do this again. We're going to keep in touch and, you know, educate yourself on digital currency, the blockchain, and make sure that you take your first step towards financial freedom. Thank you so much.